why you're burned out even when you're not busy. You know that strange feeling where you're not drowning in deadlines, but somehow you still wake up exhausted? You're not overloaded, yet your brain feels like someone squeezed the life out of it. This is a type of burnout nobody talks about. The burnout that hits you even when your workload isn't technically heavy. And the reason this one hits harder is simple. You don't see it coming. And because you don't see it, you don't fix it. Most people blame themselves for being lazy, but the truth is a lot more logical and a lot less personal. Let's start with the first type, burnout from unresolved mental load. You're not busy, but your brain is. That's the trap. Most people think burnout comes from doing too many tasks, but a lot of working adults get burned out from carrying too many invisible responsibilities. The stuff you never write on a to-do list but weighs you down anyway. Worrying if your performance looks good enough. Navigating unclear expectations. Trying not to disappoint your boss. Feeling guilty for wanting a break. Replaying conversations and thinking about what you should have said. Wondering whether you're falling behind your peers. None of this appears on your calendar, but your mind is running full-time in the background like a laptop with 20 tabs open and only 8 gigabytes of RAM. You're not tired because of tasks. You're tired because you're carrying pressure that never turns off. Then there's burnout from emotional labor at work. Let's be honest, half of work isn't work. It's managing people. And emotional labor is one of the most draining forms of effort, especially when you're not allowed to talk about it. Think about how often you force yourself to sound positive, pretend that a bad idea is fine, deal with passive-aggressive teammates, stay calm while a client is being unrealistic, or act professional even when you're frustrated. Emotional labor doesn't look like work, but your brain burns just as much energy regulating emotions as it does completing actual tasks. That's why you go home feeling like you worked a double shift even on slow days. A third kind of burnout comes from unclear direction. Nothing drains motivation faster than not knowing what you're working toward. When you lack clarity, ownership, or a sense of progress, you don't feel productive. And when you don't feel productive, you use even more energy trying to force yourself to work. It's like driving with the handbrake on. You're moving, but everything takes twice the effort. People think burnout comes from doing too much, but burnout also comes from doing things that don't feel meaningful, achievable, or in your control. Humans can handle hard work. What we can't handle is pointless work. Another cause is the burnout that comes from being always on. Even when you're not working, your brain might still be in work mode. Maybe you're checking messages on weekends. Maybe you're thinking about tomorrow's meeting while you're in the shower. Maybe you feel guilty for resting. Maybe your brain is constantly scanning for what might go wrong next. Your workload is low, but your alertness is maxed out. This is the burnout of vigilance. Your brain's stuck in survival mode instead of rest mode, and survival mode is expensive. And then there's burnout from self-silencing. This one is overlooked because high performers get hit by it the most. You spend so much energy hiding how you really feel. At work, you can't say you're overwhelmed. You can't disagree openly. You can't show frustration. You can't admit confusion. You hesitate to ask for help because you're worried about how it looks. So instead of expressing anything, you hold everything inside. And the more you internalize, the more energy you burn maintaining that emotional firewall. Suppressing your feelings is exhausting. Not speaking drains energy faster than speaking. So how do you start recovering from this kind of burnout? The solution isn't a vacation. You don't need palm trees. You need relief from the invisible pressure your brain has been carrying. Start by naming what's actually draining you. If you're exhausted without being busy, ask yourself, what am I worrying about that isn't on my calendar? Just labeling it releases mental load. Then set micro boundaries. Not big dramatic ones, small rules. Maybe you turn off notifications after 8 p.m. Maybe you stop answering quick questions during lunch. Your brain needs protected pockets of silence. Reduce emotional labor where you can. You don't have to be on all the time. Speak simply. Stop sugarcoating. Stop over-explaining. Stop trying to manage everyone's feelings. Next, give yourself permission to be average sometimes. You don't have to operate at 110% every day. Burnout often comes from the pressure to be perfect constantly. It's okay to have maintenance days. And finally, rebuild your sense of progress. Break tasks into embarrassingly small steps. Finishing small wins gives your brain dopamine, which is one of the strongest antidotes to burnout. Because burnout isn't about being weak. It's about carrying too much of the wrong things for too long without support. And if you're feeling drained even when you're not busy, there's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken, you're simply human, living in a work culture that romanticizes pressure but punishes honesty.